It's news o'clock. Well, time is winding down for the election and possibly the republic, as every headline now reads like random refrigerator poetry. Billionaire works at McDonald's, man gives speech about golfer's junk, presidential candidate praises Hitler. Why do we even make these magnets? The former president has proven the best October surprise is the one you get yourself, as his former chief of staff revealed he didn't think Hitler was all that bad. Though it is Trump, so there's a good chance he just thought Jojo Rabbit was a documentary. Hey, Mr. Trump, Hitler was the bad guy. I mean, I know you're not a scholar, but watch an episode of Hogan's Heroes for God's sake. Though we should have seen it coming, since every photo of John Kelly looks like he's thinking, did that guy just defend Hitler? Why is he always mugging to the camera? We needed an adult in the room, not Jim from The Office. UK fans, I know I should have said Tim, as it's the superior show, but sometimes you have to appeal to a broader audience even though they mistake cartoonishness for genuine satire. Kelly, who's a 4-star general but looks like a 1-star Uber passenger, went on to reveal Trump said that he wanted Hitler's generals. Oh, is that all? Here I was worried Trump was a fascist. Turns out he just wants his entire infrastructure. We're all gonna die. Fox News was quick to wrap themselves in knots to defend the former president, with Brian Kilmeade saying,
"It's your job to do what the president wants." And I could absolutely see him going out, you know what? It would be great to have German generals that actually do what we asked them to do, knowing that's a third, maybe not fully being cognizant of the third rail of German generals who are Nazis and whatever.
Wow. Does anyone else smell Auntie Anne's right now? Because that is a pretzel. I'm glad he wasn't a writer for Roosevelt, because that would have been the worst fireside chat ever.
The eyes of history are on us. Our enemy is clear. You know, that taboo subject of the soldiers who, if you squint, appear to be Nazis or what have you.
Republican Governor Chris Sununu's defense was less he didn't know no better and more he's a bad whittle boy, saying,
"Look, we've heard a lot of extreme things about Donald Trump from Donald Trump. It's kind of par for the course. It's really, unfortunately, with a guy like that, it's kind of baked into the vote at this point."
Yeah, nothing we can do. Doesn't matter how disgusting or vile or dangerous, it's all baked in. Side note, if you ever invite Chris Sununu over for dinner, don't eat the dessert he brings. Kelly then saved the best for last, saying Trump fit the definition of a fascist, which is news since he doesn't even fit his suits. Trump responded calling Kelly a lowlife and said the story was made up. Okay, but that didn't stop you guys with the whole migrants flambeing our pets thing. Man, if only the former White House chief of staff had the same kind of credibility as a screenshot of a Facebook article your aunt told you she saw. Meanwhile, the Harris campaign held rallies with Eminem, Bradley Whitford, and Obama. Apparently to court my vote with the heroes of every stage of my young adulthood, while Trump pulled out The Undertaker, apparently to court my vote with my hero before I knew how to discern fantasy from reality. Oh yeah, and Trump pretended to work at McDonald's, proving we were so preoccupied with whether or not AI should look like real life, we didn't stop to think if real life should look like AI. And while this might just be an effort to show us all there are jobs he's even less qualified for than president, I honestly didn't mind the pandering or the condescending attitude or the camera crew with him. But as someone who has worked in the food service industry for over a decade, I was offended by the fact his customers were vetted beforehand. You want me to pretend you actually worked at McDonald's? Take real customers, you coward. You want the full experience? Have hash browns thrown at you by a family in a Subaru because you couldn't give them free extra sauce because your manager counts the inventory at the end of the night and you're already on thin ice after you told him 2 isn't enough for a 10-piece. But he would never do that, because in the food service industry, you leave your ego at the door. You're not appealing to voters, you are a pack mule to transfer overpriced food from a kitchen desperately hoping the health inspector doesn't come to customers who will only look you in the eye to yell at you because they didn't read the ingredients it came with on the menu. And do not get me started on them asking where the bathroom is, because there is no way not to sound condescending when you have to say, oh, it's right over there in the one visible alcove in this building under the giant neon sign that says restroom with the arrow that was literally already in your line of sight before you asked. Honestly, this really is a perfect microcosm of Trump's entire ethos, a loose facsimile of relatable human behavior, rigidly scripted to avoid a genuine experience. He's also exactly like the fries, salty, unnaturally coated golden brown, and probably going to be the death of us all. See you next time. Watch more. I'm begging you. Well, I'm not begging. That's unappealing. I would very much appreciate it if you just kept watching, because you're not. I check the numbers a lot, so we all do, right? That's not just me. That's refresh, refresh, refresh. You know.